Jess Pope.
So what are we thinking about here? What has been tickling your brain?
Into the mic, please.
What has been tickling your brain?
You mean in these previous podcasts?
Well, just in life in general.
You know, we talk a lot about but tickling my brain? That's weird. I don't know.
You don't have anything tickling your brain?
Well, that's a weird way to put it. I guess explain what tickles your brain. Give me an example.
Okay, so what's been tickling my brain today is you can take 2 plus 2, and you can take 2 even numbers and make an even number, but you cannot take 2 odd numbers and make an odd number. 2 odd numbers will only make an even number.
Yeah, the only way to get an odd number is to add an odd and an even number.
Well, I know, but it just the gods of math really confused me just a little bit.
There's not gods of math. There's only one God.
Well, I understand, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, I know what you're saying, but it is something I don't understand. That does mess with my brain.
It's kind of tickling it just a little bit.
I don't know that I'd say tickling it.
It's definitely tickling.
It's mind-boggling.
It's tickling.
Like put your mind in a bottle,
yeah,
but it doesn't tickle it.
It's definitely tickling mine.
What else tickles your brain?
Oh, what else tickles my brain? So I feel like something was tickling my brain yesterday. Let me put some thought into this.
You got a new brain tickler every day?
I do. It kind of depends on the day, really.
Okay.
So.
Well, if anything tickles your brain during this podcast, just let me know.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, the viewers would love to know.
Okay.
Maybe what to look out for, because I don't like to be tickled. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay.
I'll fight a man. That's why I started taking jiu-jitsu. People come up to the booth, try to tickle me. Oh, look out, man.
Easy, Dewey.
That's karate.
Yeah. There's only 2 people who know karate.
Yeah. It's the Chinese and the king. Isn't that what he says?
Yeah. And you ain't the king.
And you ain't the king. Man, welcome back, Rock and Roll Denim.
Yeah, thanks. It's good to be down there.
The NFR, the Rock and Roll Denim NFR pre-show podcast. We also kicked around Rodeo's Finest and Guest. So
nice.
Both work. We'll probably, we'll pick one.
Okay.
This is your 5th NFR?
4th NFR.
And you won the world
last year. Yeah.
You been wearing that buckle all year?
Yeah, just as special occasions.
Yeah. I think I might sleep in it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do like keep it hidden in my house. Yeah. You know.
I'm not saying I haven't won anything that prestigious. You know, like as soon as they add enough money at the NFR, you'll see me there.
Yeah. You're just trying to give all of us a fighting chance.
But
to supply for our families. Yeah, I completely understand what you're doing.
I'm just saying I'm a fan of the buckle itself. It's a very beautiful buckle.
Oh, well, thank you.
What's been different about this year?
My drawing skills were a lot different this year than last year or the years before. Yeah, it was pretty tough. Just, man, it seemed like everywhere I went, I'd have the kind of nicer, not even the nicer end, but just the middle of the pin, like everywhere. Whether they'd try to yank your arm off or just hop, like, there was only about 4 or 5 rodeos where I showed up thinking, wow, I have like an actual chance to win this rodeo.
Dang.
So, but it worked. Just had to rodeo a lot harder than I ever have. But it was fun. I got to do it with my brother on his rookie card. And so it was a lot of fun.
Is this your 4th? No, I'm sorry. I know it's your 4th NFR. Are you sitting 4th coming into the NFR?
No, sitting 10th.
10th?
Yes.
For some reason, I thought you were like way up there in top 5.
No, sir.
My bad. Where's your brother?
I think he was 21st in the world, so he ended up breaking his foot.
That is not bad.
Yeah.
For his rookie year.
Yeah. So he had like a little break in his foot right before Calgary, and he said it didn't bother him, but you could see it like in his riding, He wasn't grabbing a hold of horses the way that he needed to.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome that he got that introductory year with you.
Yeah, it was really special, that's for sure.
And I guess being his rookie year, I guess it was a tough year to try to battle it out for the rookie of the year, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the rookies this year are like better than we've ever seen them, and there's so many of them.
Yeah.
I think in the top 20, there's like 8 of them.
Dang.
Or top 25,
and
whatever.
And 5 of them going to the NFR?
3 for sure, maybe 4.
Really?
I can't remember.
Regardless, it's a lot of hope for the sport.
Yeah, a lot of hope, that's for sure.
Man, we've been talking a lot about mindset and just consistency and what like the pros, and especially in bareback riding, just being consistent on bucking horses by taking your mind to that level of fight every time. Do you have like a motivational line or statement or mantra that you come back to?
There's a lot of guys in the bareback riding world, they got to wrestle growing up and stuff. Like, I didn't wrestle. We didn't have it where I grew up. We kind of grew up in the middle of nowhere. And when I was a freshman in high school, I got hurt, and the football coach told me, which he coached football, basketball, and track, he said, you got to choose between sports or rodeo. So, like, I pretty well just kind of had to train myself on the mental game. But I grew up day working a bunch, like, just cowboying around the house. And I feel like the cowboy code of ethics have a lot to do with how my mindset works. Like, there's one job, and that's what we're going to go do, and it doesn't matter what it takes. Doesn't matter what you have to do for it. Like, you just got to dig down deep and figure it out, find a way.
Yeah.
And just that's kind of how I look at everything, just one step at a time. Like at the NFR, it's one day at a time, one horse. Don't think about what the next day is or the day before that we're over with. Like, it's all irrelevant except for the one that you have that night. And, I mean, just show up and do everything you possibly can.
What about the actual NFR? Is there anything specific that, game plan-wise that you have going into it?
I mean, just trying to be in good shape, make sure that I'm sharp when I show up there, be riding the spurboard and stuff and bucking machine, and just go enjoy it while you can, because I feel like if you're not having fun, then it's not going to go good. And I've got to see that firsthand with multiple different guys, whether they're fighting an injury or something, especially the injury side of things. Like, if you're fighting an injury out there, it just makes your whole week sour. Mm-hmm. And then when it's not fun, and then it just seems like you're getting worse, like fighting yourself every time, just because you want it to be so good and you're wanting to have fun, but you can't. So I just try to get in there and smile and soak everything up from the time we walk down the tunnel to sitting in the locker room, getting on, going to autograph signings, like all of it, just soak it all in, because I know at some point in time I'm not ever going to go back,
You touched on it a little bit, like talking about your upbringing. Like, at what point did you realize you wanted to be a bareback rider?
So when I was little, I wanted to start rodeoing when I was like 4. So there was an older gentleman's that lived like 15 minutes from where I grew up. Will Lowe, Jeff Collins, Dusty LeBeth, Luke Snyder, like they all kind of started through his little program.
Yeah.
But every Tuesday night he did a little practice, fundamentals practice with the bucking machines and stuff. So we started going over there. I started riding sheep and calves, and then there was like 4 or 5 older boys that had bareback riggings, and he'd be getting them on the bucking machine, and I was just ambitious to try anything. Like, I'd get on there, spur the hell out of the dang thing with the rigging on, or if a kid threw his bronc saddle on there, I couldn't touch stirrups or nothing, but I was trying to spur it as hard as I could, just wanted to. So then Mom and Dad and Will Lowe did a school there at George's, and so they put me in that and, like, rode the bucking machine with him a bunch. And we'd went around. Mom and Dad found, like, a bunch of, not like miniature ponies, but all, like, bigger ponies, like riding-sized ponies, and kind of went through a bunch of them just to see what they'd do, and found just a couple nice little hoppers. So I started getting on them, and I think I was, like, 10 years old then. And I did that for 2 years, just kind of practicing, and then they cut me off till I could kind of grow up and let my growth plates close off a little bit more, mature. Then when I was a freshman, I started getting on at the high school rodeos and stuff like that. And I wish I would have waited till I was 16 rather than being a freshman. Yeah, I wish I was a junior. Just when you're that young, you're doing it for free, and what's the point? If it's something you actually really want to do for a living, why burn yourself out when you're that young? And I didn't never burn myself out, but you only get so many horses. Like, you're one bad wreck away from being done, so you might as well. What's the point of doing it for free? But so that was kind of the upbringing on that. I wanted to be Ty Murray for a while, so I tried all 3, and then I soon realized that maybe I wasn't quite so good at doing all 3. If I was focusing on one, it wasn't bad, but so.
That's a different path to walk.
It's crazy.
That multiple event.
Yeah. It's wild to think, because when I was in high school, I could focus on one, and then I would do really good in the one, but the other 2, I was just kind of trying to go through the motions, and it wouldn't work. I'd get bucked off and stuff. And when I got to college, when I was a senior in high school, I quit riding bulls and then was trying to do broncs and bears, and went to college, and coach said, man, like, I know you want to be a bareback rider, and you're just kind of doing this bronc riding because it's fun. If you want to quit, that's perfectly fine and just focus on the bears. And that was probably the best decision I did or made.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember letting go of a few events that it was just so completely liberating.
Mm-hmm.
Then getting to focus on one.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys, I can't imagine. The thing that blows my mind is not only doing multiple events, but whenever you do separate ends of the arena, you know, start going for like Linderman Award type deals, you know, like that is a different breed of person, you know. Maybe it's not because it's two different mindsets as far as like the fight, and I assume they're different. Like if you're calf roping and bull riding, you know, like Trey Benton does sometimes. But to me, that just blows my mind.
Yeah,
those guys that are able to do that.
It is crazy. It's just like Josh Frost being able to try to steer wrestle and ride bulls and rope calves, and it's like,
yeah,
you sure?
Yeah, exactly.
Old cheese.
Yeah. So you got to go with your brother. Is he going to go out to the NFR with you?
Yeah, I think he's going to come out there. My mom and dad, they pulled their camper out there. It's probably best that they stay in a camper instead of a hotel. I think everyone would lose their minds if mom and dad were in the hotel, but they'll do that. And there's my best friend from back home. He pulls his camper out there, and they kind of camp out, and it's good for me. I can get out there and hang out with them for a little while and get away from all the hustle and bustle of Vegas, and they kind of have their own little village over there. But both my brothers, I think, are going to come out for the whole time maybe. Usually deer season falls during the NFR, but with this being later now, I don't think it does. So
nice.
Yeah.
So what do you do outside of rodeo to get your mind off of it?
Like I went to school and learned how to preg check cows. So between day work and pregging cows, taking care of my own stuff, trying to ride some colts and train some dogs and stuff. But other than that keeps me pretty well busy.
Yeah.
Every day at home, like more than I can handle.
Dang.
So
you going to get on some practice broncs?
Yeah, we usually go down to Frontiers Ranch right around Thanksgiving and get on a couple
you will
down
go
there.
with them.
Yep.
Nice.
So that's only about 4 hours from my house to theirs, and they're really the closest contractor that has a pro card, honestly.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, cool, man. Well, it's great to have you on, Jess, year after year, being consistent at winning. So that's the Dale Brisby way, old son. So thanks for joining us. The Rock and Roll Denim NFR pre-show podcast. There it is. Yeah, that's what we're calling this.
Perfect.
Huh? Oh, yeah. What's your favorite pair of rock and rolls?
Well, I don't think they make them anymore. They made them for just a little while, but they were like the raw denim, like almost black. Those were my favorites.
Yeah, those are cool.
But they have the relaxed, stretchy jeans with the V on. I don't remember what the style number is.
Vintage 46.
Yeah, they're vintage 46. I got them.
They're Reflex.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still make those.
I mean, a guy's got to do some air squats in the middle of the day.
Or ride a bucking horse.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't got to worry about ripping out.
That's right. Well, we're on to the next one, just like you are, Jess. We'll see you at this year's NFR.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Pow, pow.